we got to set our expectations like to be like, okay, this is the Grammys. I had a conversation last year. People were like, well, Jay-Z is going to sweep the category. I was like,
No, he's
I was like, you understand that Bruno Mars in these categories? It's like, there's no way 444 is going to beat 24 Karat as far as album of the year for the Grammys. And they were like, no, no, no. And I won $20 that day because Bruno Mars was that artist.
Cop you a cool Jodeci
I caught
shirt.
me a Jodeci shirt, baby.
What's up, geniuses? Welcome back to For the Record. I'm your host, Rob Markman, and we're coming up on Grammy time. It's the time that you love to hate. You know why? Because we're just going to argue these predictions, these categories, who got it right, who got it wrong, who's going to win, who's going to lose. I got an esteemed panel with me. Some of my favorite people in this whole industry, in this whole game. Their opinions really matter, and I just want to assemble them so we can talk about it. First up, from BET's Colorways and Toe Boxes and the Clubhouse podcast with Mouse Jones, we have the one and only Mouse Jones. Mouse, welcome to For the Record.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you. Thank you, guys.
You may be leading lead. You may have been on the show more times than anybody. So,
wow.
you know.
Rob Markman has a great eye for talent,
Oh, okay.
and Genius wants to win, so it all makes sense.
Let's get you a desk.
Next up,
Yes.
that is his desk right here. Next up, from the Black Girl Podcast co-host,
Hey.
we have, usually I have to turn on my TV
Yep.
to see her face, to hear her opinions,
Yep.
to just see her shine, but she's here today. We're so lucky. It's
Thank
Gia
you.
Peppers.
Thank you so much
These
for
is
having me,
leather?
Rob.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's real
they're
leather.
leather.
That's real
Yeah.
leather.
Yeah, I mean, it's
The
weird
back of her
outside.
kneecaps are sweating. That's real
They're
leather.
not. They're not sweating at all. These are really comfortable, actually.
And last but not least, we have culture personality, content creator. You like that, right?
Culture
You got it.
personality.
You got it.
Yeah, I want. I'm
Jameer Pons. Yo, you got 3 shows on BT. Can I introduce Jameer
I would like to be-
Pons to For the Record?
I would
Thank
like
you.
to be referred to as a culture
Nobody
person.
clap for
Yeah,
me,
I like
clap
that
for
too.
me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, we want to be culture personalities as
Yeah,
well.
we're culture
I mean,
personalities.
we
We're
all
not-
like, you know, I'm
I don't
on
wanna
that
be a
talent
media
too.
personality. I wanna be a
You know, I
culture
got guests on the
personality.
podcast. I got mad shows.
You're already
Talk
gonna
about it.
You're already gonna see how this episode is gonna go.
Ignorant.
We gonna talk about the Grammys.
We were from
We
real
just
life.
love you. Okay? We love
Real quick,
you.
I just want to put it out there. This year for the Grammys in 2018, the Recording Academy, they actually extended the nominations in a lot of categories. There's 8 nominations. We're fitting a lot more because Grammys, let's face it, a lot of times, not even the winners wrong. The nominations were all off.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and that's where it starts. So they widen the pool. And, you know, we'll go through a lot of these categories. For me, I feel like, oh, okay, there's more representation. The nominations seem a lot better this year, at least. But we want to see who do we think is going to win. Are they going to get it right?
Right.
All right? Y'all cool?
Yeah.
Yes.
We're going to talk about a couple categories. I want to get to some of these categories, all right? Now, each of our panelists, each of you guys under your chair, you have a whiteboard, and you're going to write your picks down for
There's
the category, and we can get into each selection, okay?
Budget.
Budget.
Oh, you hit me in the head.
Yeah, but you
I'm
dropped the
sorry.
marker.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm not
It's a lot of singing. Just don't sing anything
That could
That's
get
you
a
you
didn't
song.
write. Yeah,
That's a
that's
song.
what I'm saying, all right?
Okay.
Don't sing no Josie.
I can sing Drake, though.
Let's start out. Nah, I don't know.
Wow.
There's a lot of writers.
Let's
Anybody's on there.
I could be.
If anybody guess.
we're gonna get to these nominations, y'all
Yes,
ready?
sir. Yes, sir.
Let's start off with the album of the year, okay? Nominees, who you would like to see win. First up, we have Invasion of Privacy by Cardi B. By the Way, I Forgive You, Brandy Carlisle. That's a fire title. Scorpion, Drake. Her by Her. Beer Bars and Bentleys by Post Malone. Dirty Computer by Janelle Monáe. Golden Hour by Casey Musgraves. And Black Panther, the album. Music from and inspired by the Black Panther movie, various artists, a.k.a. Kendrick Lamar and TDE.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's just
As
say
it
that.
should be.
Yeah.
So this is our album of the year category. You ready?
Hold on.
Mouse Jones is doing spell check.
Yep. That's exactly what happened. That red line pulled up
On the whiteboard?
on the whiteboard.
Let's start with Jameer over here. Can we start with Jameer? Album of the year, man. Who you think got it?
Body.
Body.
Body at Cardi. I'm gonna say that because what a phenomenal year she had last year. I think when you talk about flagship as far as artists, she came from a space where we haven't seen before. We talking about stripping, we've seen that before, but to go from Instagram,
I don't frequent
reality,
strip clubs, bro.
you
but
should.
Go ahead.
I mean, they have really good food.
The man has a family, Jameer. Shut up.
Everybody got families.
I got you.
They be in there. But you know, to come from the, you know, where she came from, Instagram personality, loving hip hop, and to have this worldwide success, I mean, it's pretty undeniable. She hosted The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon.
But the album.
The album,
The album as an album.
The album was a great album.
Okay.
I bumped it. You don't think it was a great album?
This is your moment.
The album was a great album. I thought it was, again, a flagship album and just like a culture changer. So shout out to Cardi. She deserves it.
Yeah.
I already know y'all are gonna not like me for this, but I want her to win. I
I can
want.
understand.
First of
fair.
all, you
That's
got
fair.
the period.
That's what I was trying to fix, but she was trying to be ignorant.
I'm just messing with her.
You wrote in calligraphy? This is nice.
Well, I just wanted someone to have a nice.
not time to
What,
do
attention.
what was it about her? Actually, when we started, before the camera started rolling, you was like, oh my God, it's a rainy day.
I would like to
I was
listen
listening
to
to her. I'm
her.
in such a great mood.
I just love. Oh, well, first of all, I think she has one of the greatest voices we've heard in a while.
Big facts.
Her tone is beautiful. And she's an artist, so she plays all the instruments. She's super hands-on and involved in her projects, and she's so young that this is the first like real effort we've seen from her. But I think in a few years she's gonna rival a lot of the top singers with the way that she's going about her movements.
I like the way she's going about her movement.
Her movements.
Yeah,
Got it.
that's
That's
dope.
cute. But I think that there's something to be said about a person who's like trying to be anti with this whole industry and everything, and it still is winning. Like how we talked about in the past episode with Cole. Like she doesn't really want it to be about her. She's young and she's just like, I'm trying to feel, and I want people to feel something. So my music is about that, and I think she does a great job of just bringing out greatness in other people, whoever she's a
Yes.
part of, with whatever track. Her and Daniel Caesar's song, I think, was one of the best of the past. One of the best love songs we've heard in the past 10 years. I
Yes.
think.
That's a fact.
We even say 15.
So I think her is such a strong contender because she's so talented, and this is really just the beginning. So I think I would love to see that. I don't think she's gonna win, but I would love to see it.
Mouse Jones, who do you got?
I got Invasion of Privacy.
Okay.
Much of the same reasons Jameer said. This been an A1 year for, and especially I like the fact that she's doing all this in spite. Right, she's doing all this in spite of beefs, in spite of personal mishaps. All of this, she's still putting out. I'm not gonna say quality, but she's putting out a product. She's putting out a product that works for her market.
Well, how can you say album of the year if you don't?
Because it's the
If it's not synonymous with quality.
It's the Grammys.
Well, I thought we were talking about what we liked.
Yeah, I think this is out of what was given to me. I think I would have, if this was a perfect world, her out of those albums that you named, her should win. But what's most likely going to win, and for the most sensible reasons, Invasion of Privacy. Like I said, it was one of the first times I heard a record by a woman that wasn't meant for everyone to consume. This was meant for women, and if men liked it, okay, but F you, this is for women.
I like that.
And that was so dope to me. So, of course, a lot of the songs and a lot of the project didn't resonate with me, but it wasn't supposed to.
Right.
But the fact that it resonated with who it resonated with, and now you look at what has happened since, and because of this, she deserves it.
She did a dope job, and I thought the music was. I don't know if it's the album of the year for me.
I mean,
But
out of those,
coming into it, I didn't know what to expect. Like Bodak was dope, amazing, and then it was like, okay, do it again, and she continued
I mean, yeah,
to do it
she's
again.
definitely
She continued to do
released.
it again, and even like there's album cuts like I Do with SZA
SZA,
on it. Could have easily been a single. It's such a great record.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They actually dropped the
I
ball
would've loved
and
to
not
see that
making
video.
that single, but every time I've hosted a party and that comes on, women go crazy.
Yeah. And then she had a lot of eclectic joints on there. Like you had that, but then you had
Eclectic.
Cardi with Party with 21 Savage. Like it's fire, you know? Good mix.
Yeah, I mean, she could have, honestly, a lot of those, I would say about 80% of the record could have all been singles. Like, they were all really, really well produced. I think Cardi found her pocket on this album. Like, we really heard Cardi try to really, like, at first, she was like, I'm gonna just, I like to rap, and I'm good at it, so I'm gonna just try. But I think she actually worked for this album, and I think we saw that.
You can tell you can't discount. I don't care how you feel about Cardi. You can't discount the work
in the progress.
that
Absolutely.
she put in
Absolutely.
in the progress. All right, man.
And she had a baby and
we'll
came
see.
back.
Snap back.
Crazy.
And then, last year only one woman was nominated in the Album of the Year category, which was Lorde. And, Neil Portnow, he's the Academy chairman, had came under fire because he said that women and artists and execs need to step up. Was his choice of words, which was poor choice of words.
I wonder how that went for him.
Didn't go well. But one, they opened it up from 5 to 8.
Right.
And we see a lot more women
Janelle
in this,
Monáe.
in
Well,
this category.
Well, that's trash.
Do you think-
Opening it up more, right? I personally don't believe that the Grammy is the end all be all, but there are a lot of people who do believe that. So if that is the running theme, that is the end all be all, you shouldn't be opening up the ranks. You should be making sure the right 5 albums or people are up for the award.
Right. I think it's hard.
It's attention to detail that they've been missing. That's been the problem. Attention to detail
comes with
has been
representation,
lacking, not it needing to be.
Right.
Because now it's cheesy. Now it looks like you're
we need
trying to add
4 women and 4
we need more
men.
women, and we're not going to
Right.
shorten it, and we're not going to add more quality and
Right.
more quality control. We're going to say, make it 8, add 3 women.
That comes with representation. They need to.
Right.
I mean, it kind of
They need
cheapens.
to call you, Rob.
They don't want me.
and it kind of cheapens
So we get some West Side Gun up in there.
it kind of cheapens the whole
Already
moment.
rap.
Yeah, yes.
Album of the year kind of cheapens the moment, because it's like, okay, well, did I get nominated because I'm a woman, or did I get nominated because my project was dope, and that's
Right.
and that's what you think. The problem with the Grammys is it's still very subjective. So it's like, I mean, I love that her and Janelle Monáe and all these women are getting that nomination, but I'm sure they're like, thank you, but I still did this because it was what I wanted to do,
Don't let it be the end all be
And
all.
Right.
Casey Musgraves and Brandy Carlisle. I won't
Casey
lie.
Musgraves
I won't
is
lie
probably
that
gonna
I'm
Brandy-
most familiar with their music.
Brandy.
But, yeah. So
That song is fire.
but what I would say is, I like opening it up from 5 to 8, not because Mouse is right. You just got to get it right. Don't open it up to it gives you less room for error when you're trying to fill a quota.
Right,
But
the quota.
I think we're getting more music now than ever. Every Friday, right? It feels like 30 albums
15
come out.
albums.
I
come
can't
out.
do it.
I can't keep up. I don't even know you guys.
How do you keep up? So I think for that, taking it to 8 is a great idea.
Right.
But I think it's very whack if it's just like, okay, we need right
Like,
down the middle
I
4 women.
think it's
and 4
mad
men.
disrespectful. Like, you
Yeah.
put her in there and you put Janelle Monáe. You know good and damn well they're not going to win. You put them in there to say,
We
got it right, guys.
But also there's a
But they're trying.
there's a thing of when that bio comes in next year, Grammy nominated
Nominate.
artist, her.
Yeah, okay, I get that.
It raises the price
Raises
goes up
it.
Yeah.
a little
Praise
bit.
goes up.
It raises
Yeah,
your stress.
yeah.
I want to go into the next category, which is Song of the Year, which goes to the songwriters, not necessarily the performers. All the Stars, Kendrick Lamar and SZA, Booed Up, LMA, God's Plan, Drake, In My Blood, Shawn Mendes, The Joke by Brandy Carlisle, The Middle by Zedd, Maren Morris and Gray, Shallow, Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper from the film A Star Is Born,
wow.
and This Is America by Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino.
I feel
Boy,
like I'm gonna be so cliche.
damn.
But cliches are there for a reason.
Let's start with Mouse.
boot up.
Booed Up.
Boot
LMA.
up. How I take yours? I was done first. Please put some respect on the record, the anthem that is Boot Up. Like, what else needs to be said? It came out of nowhere. It was like 2 years old by when it
Right.
hit.
Blew up.
And it went dumb. It went stupid, and it deserved everybody. It was one of the first songs I've seen in a long time where men reappropriated. It was that was the guys was in the spot
Right.
singing "Boot Up."
I remember you tweeted this because Mouse Jones, I don't know if you know this, goes around all over America
I didn't know that.
hosting parties.
Oh, somewhere.
You know,
Seen him somewhere.
so he's there.
We're
He
so
tweets.
childish.
No, but you saw the reaction to this very
everywhere,
firsthand, even outside of
everywhere
the
we
data.
were at. It wasn't because at first I thought maybe it was just a New York thing because we like to Millie rock into everything, so I thought it was just a New York thing. Everywhere I went last year, Boot Up comes on. It was the men just Boot Up, and then she A1.
They're gonna start with those notes. Well, we're gonna have to clear
Oh,
that.
sorry,
No,
sorry,
I'm
sorry,
playing with you.
sorry.
I'm playing with you. Let's go, Gia.
Boot Up.
Boot Up.
Yeah,
I have several hundred videos from this year just dancing to that song with my friend Sylvia, because it's literally one of those things where the song is so catchy and so contagious that you can't listen to it without it being in your head. Like, as soon as you hear it, you're like, wait a second, and it brings you back not only to that moment of like liking somebody and you just want to be with them all the time, but it just brings you back to feeling like a teenager, and you're just like, dog,
Let Us Know song.
Boot up.
I guess you.
We can't sing the notes, but I do think it's really, really, really dope to see this young girl who started from Instagram covers, who loved Chris Brown and all this stuff, and just wanted to make it, is now the voice behind one of the biggest songs of last year. And we saw hood dudes who was like, I only listen to Meek and that's it. Was like,
A.R.A.B.
Right. And they're like, I love that song, Boot Up. Like, everybody loved Boot Up. The most serious to the most,
I just want to say one thing. And I think Mouse is right. By and large, it seemed like Ella Mai came
I know.
out of nowhere. But she was really working towards this moment. I remember her song preview, 10,000 Hours,
Yes, and
was a
it's
big
so
song for her.
good.
Like, I remember having her on Genius 2 years ago. And
Light Flex.
Yeah.
Got a good eye for talent. Yeah.
That's why they pay me the
big
medium
bucks.
size.
Hey.
Yo, what's going on, Jameer, man?
I gotta break the monotony. I'm sorry, y'all. All the stars.
All the stars. Kendrick
Yeah.
Lamar and SZA.
Yeah.
Actually, all of the stars, but okay.
Well,
No, I think it's all the stars.
it's all the stars.
Okay.
Exactly.
Wow.
You didn't know. You didn't know.
Look at
You
that
didn't know.
unnecessariness.
You didn't know at all. So I picked this song. Definitely agree with Boot Up. But I picked this song because it catapulted. It helped catapult one of the biggest movies of 2018, and it catapulted the soundtrack. Like, we don't really see soundtracks out there getting busy as far as, and this song is nominated for an Oscar as
Sure
well.
is,
So
is.
we gotta, just acknowledge the fact that this went along with one of the greatest movements as far as black films. And even though it's a Marvel film, but it,
It's a black film.
it's a black film, but getting the money, but
All them actors is getting money.
That's true, but the movement, the cultural impact of Black Panther, and this was like the front runner song for it.
I just remember being in the theater and at the closing credits. In Marvel
Fire.
movies, you always wait for the
Yeah.
closing credits anyway.
Yo, and it's hitting and it's
Well, yeah,
smacking.
man.
You waiting,
Yeah.
you waiting for
Yeah.
that post scene credit, and you're like,
Yeah,
yo,
fire.
this is
man.
alright, yo.
The theater-
And then
the
you're
theater was a
like
joint.
the names
went
who
hand
come
in hand.
through.
That's literally
The names who
not
come
what I
through.
said.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was feeling
What
when I
about?
watched it.
I'm kind of leaning towards, and this is a tough category because I agree with you with Boot Up. All the stars, the cultural impact of what that record had. That Drake God's Plan.
Okay.
That was
The
one
video
of the
was so
that was
great.
one of the
I
most
loved
annoying
it.
songs ever.
Oh.
Really?
Everything about that was annoying.
So you don't like anything that has to do with God? I'm playing.
Oh, give thanks.
Oh, she Mouse Jones to me.
Right, I got you.
No, everything about that.
Rebuke.
Mouse Jones.
Everything about that was annoying. Number one, I hate a lot of things, but this I really hate. People doing charitable things with a camera
We're
crew.
not talking about the video. We're talking about the song.
The video had a lot
The
to
video
do.
had a
in
lot
my
to do with the
opinion,
song.
The
The
catapult-
video
catapults in the song.
carries the song. Then the song is super annoying. It's just very annoying. It's very annoying.
So yeah, how many? I only love my bed and my mama. I'm sorry. Captions
Oh
that you
my
see
God.
on IG.
Probably everybody. Probably everyone. I think I follow like 1,500 people. Probably think every person.
Wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
14.99.
1498.
All right.
98.
But I mean, and I think honestly, just inject some goodness into the. I
We
love
did.
it. It's
Boot
so
Up.
cute.
Boot Up
it
did
was.
that.
I think it was a very cute effort. It was nice.
It was a cute effort.
I like God's Plan,
And
man.
how you gonna be talking about this guy's plan and you hiding a baby?
It was God's plan that he had a baby.
He didn't
What
even say
was
love
God's
the
plan?
baby.
You hide the baby.
He wasn't hiding.
A child.
You know,
He
he
was
was
hiding
He was hiding the world from
his
You
child.
hide something.
All right.
That's the problem with these preachers. You know, I ain't
He only love his bed and his mom. He didn't even say he loved Adidon or Adon.
Yeah, where's Adidon?
Where's Addy?
Young Addy, where he at?
Did you
First
remember
of
the
all,
rumor when
y'all are so annoying.
Twitter tried to say, "Oh, his son's name is my
I want the
bed"?
backslap
Did you
every
ever see this? You remember that?
Cause his middle name is my bed. Yeah, all right.
Let's get into
I seen the genius.
that.
I seen the genius.
Nah, that
lyrics.
wasn't us.
It said my
That
bed.
wasn't
It
us.
said my
Yeah,
bed,
that
not my
wasn't us.
bed.
That wasn't us.
That's dope.
Let's get into the record of the year category, which this one is actually for
the
artists,
performer?
producers, recording engineers, mixers, everybody that had to do with actually making the record. I like it. Cardi B, Bad Bunny, J Balvin. The Joke by Brandy Carlisle. This Is America, Childish Gambino. God's Plan, Drake. Shallow, Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. All the Stars by Kendrick Lamar and SZA. And Rockstar, Post Malone featuring 21 Savage. Record of the year. Mouse Jones, decisive Mouse Jones.
That's what you have to be able to do in this industry.
Let's go, Mouse.
We're going with Barty. She
I like
deserves
it.
the dubs. She deserves all the W's. If her name is in there, give her the award. It's literally one of the only things the Grammy got right this year. And it was very easy to do. She made it very easy. She's everywhere. She not only took hip hop by storm, she took the Latin world by storm. Her records are world records. They're everywhere. Give her the awards.
Okay. Gia?
Well, I wrote down two because he took mine, but well, I'm just gonna do it. I did. I like it, but I like it only because
You can't split the Grammy in half.
I know you can't. Well, they just tied it
Make
to
a
Golden
choice.
Globes.
Make a decision.
They tied it to Golden Globes. You
But
never
this
know.
ain't the Golden Globes. It's the Golden Man. Now make a decision.
Oh,
Go ahead. Go
you
ahead.
are so good.
Misogynist. Yes.
We will have
This
none
is
of that
Weird. I don't know
here.
what just happened.
The Grammy is a Golden Man.
Is it?
That's the
I'm just
Oscars.
playing.
That's the Oscars. The Grammy is
What's the Grammy?
The
is
actual,
the record
like,
player. It's
the music.
The sippy cup, blue sippy cup.
Just
Yeah, sinking your seat.
in
There you go.
Just keep
Well,
going.
media personalities don't get Grammys.
That's why you're not a culture personality.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Gia, go
All
ahead.
right, because everything that you said about I Like It is, I really love how it encompassed everything about hip hop, like just music. I loved the trap breakdown. I loved how Cardi delivered, and it felt like home for her. It felt like we were watching her at home, like in these two places where it's the Bronx and, where is she? Dominican?
She's Dominican.
Dominican.
And Trinity.
And
Trinity.
Trinity, where she lives in those two spaces. I think we saw that from her.
intersection,
Yeah, the intersection of both. And then J Balvin is one of like the biggest artists of the past few years, so it's dope to see them collaborate. But I think for record of the year, and the same reasons what Jameer said about All the Stars. What it did for Black Panther, what it meant for Black culture, I think at that moment, really, really just made it this record, this huge moment, and it was attached to it, and it was the soundtrack to that. So I think for record of the year, I'm just gonna go ahead and say All the Stars.
Jameer.
All right. Gotta break the monotony. I'm sorry. This Is America.
What?
Yeah. Only reason I say This Is America, I totally agree with y'all. I said This Is America because that was like a moment. I was watching Saturday Night Live, and then I went on YouTube and I started to see like this video come out of nowhere, and the numbers started to rise. So you take a look at it, and then within 24 hours, everybody had all these explanations for all the themes and the things and what he was talking about and all these things. So I understand that the video, yes, had a big push on the record, but I still feel like the record was extremely important, even though, he might have stole that. He might have stole that, I don't know.
It's not that good.
But I think, I think it's the cultural impact of it. Like, we talked about, like, we saw the school shootings, we saw the choir being shot, we saw the themes of the Jim Crow, and it was a lot of things to unpack out of that. And I feel like it was a good record.
I felt like he meant for it to be consumed visually.
Very true.
Like that.
Very true.
I think the record and the video go hand in hand.
They do.
And very much. For
The
me,
record wasn't that good.
That's
the
the only
record
thing why I
itself
would say
was
record of the
mid.
year.
But what a
Yeah.
moment. But what,
It was a moment.
What?
It was a
But
moment.
But you put it against songs that had just as
and
big of moments. I like it to have that big of a moment.
I don't think as big.
I think
as
All the Stars.
I think All the Stars. Yes. I don't think no.
Ellen's on TV dancing to it, boy.
Ellen
dances
dances to
to
everything,
everything.
bro. I watch Ellen.
Sick of
I love Ellen.
dancing, dog.
But no, I agree.
sounds
I would
good.
agree with you if it was video of the year or like
Agreed,
a cultural
agreed.
impactful moment of the year.
Agreed.
But because it didn't move through radio stations, because and not that radio was the end all be all, but because it had its moment and it peaked and then it kind of just went away
fast.
kind of fast. I wouldn't say record of the year just because that effort of the year, like the thing that
Participation trophy of the year.
But no, do you
a
know how
millennial
much,
thing to
but
do.
No, what do you mean? But
Yo.
no, what I mean is,
Wow.
what I mean is the whole thing, the whole moment,
nice.
what he thought about in order to put out that, like, what those meetings had to be like, look, man, we're talking about school shootings, we're gonna go in front of how, choirs are just all, like, even the church is
Being
just
shot.
always there,
Yeah.
even, it's just like, I really love what he did with that.
What was his diet like for that lead into that video shoot?
His what?
His diet. You gotta get his body right.
He had a body like a stepfather. He just it was a
We
stepfather
just
body.
did all this.
Oh, yeah. Stop it!
Next episode, Jameer gonna come do For the Record with his shirt off.
I don't got a stepfather body.
You got Childish Gambino body.
It's a little taco meat, but it ain't that bad. It ain't that bad.
Yo,
I want to talk to you
This is
about.
them.
Nobody picked
The joke?
Post Malone, but I want to talk
refuse.
about it.
The joke.
I love the joke.
Rockstar was a huge
Absolutely.
record.
You're right.
Probably gonna win.
I
But
refuse to pick.
his
Probably gonna
team,
win.
They
more,
cheated.
more so what I want to get at is his team had lobbied behind the scenes. It was reported that they lobbied to have him taken out of the rap categories and pushed more into the pop category. So this record of the year category is genreless. It's all genres.
Yeah.
And Post Malone wasn't in any of the rap categories, but he appears here.
Good.
What do we think about that move? I
like it.
I like that move.
It's a
If
good
you
look.
don't want to be here, I don't want you here. Number one, I don't want you here, first of all.
Right.
Second of all, you don't want to be here? Let's get out of here.
Right. One of the things I will say about Post that frustrates me is that he clearly benefits from hip hop. All the
course.
rap. To me, he is a hip hop artist. If he doesn't rap per se, he came in the game. The song was called White Iverson. It wasn't called John Stockton. You
That
know, White
is
Iverson
true.
is the representation of
Dirk
hip hop in the
Nowitzki.
NBA.
Yeah.
You have 21 Savage on your record.
Mm-hmm.
You're all
Doesn't
up and
make it
down
all-
Rap Caviar, so you get streams that way.
Mm-hmm.
You're played on Hot 97.
Whose
and all
fault
the
is
urban
that, though?
stations.
Now, I like to blame white people a lot, but whose fault is that one?
Right.
That's not his
That's-
fault.
that's
If
white.
if he's going on interviews saying disrespectful things about our culture, he's saying nobody listens to hip hop
Right,
to feel away. Nobody listens.
Right.
We listen to Bob Dylan,
Right.
which is a lie. But if he's saying that and he's saying don't call me rap, and everybody else and all the black people saying you better shut up and be rapping,
Right.
and we keep putting you in here,
Right.
Well,
that's not on him. That's
White
on us.
Iverson was a hip hop record.
Not really.
I think so.
I thought it was a hip-hop
He's
record.
singing country melodies over
Nelly did
a
it.
trap beat.
I do
did it.
think he does more than rap or more than exist in the rap. Like musically, I think dude is talented. Like that doesn't come from anywhere. But is it hip hop? Is it not hip hop?
It's not hip-hop.
He lobbied. Why I like this move for him though, and G, I would love to get your take
Yeah.
as why he lobbied to be in pop is. Remember a couple of years ago we had the Macklemore, Kendrick Lamar. We know that the Grammys have a tendency, and I don't blame Macklemore for. I blame Macklemore for showing the text
messages,
between him and
yeah.
Kendrick. I don't blame Macklemore for winning an award. If I'm an artist and I'm up for an award, I want to win that award. I don't care if I'm white, black, Asian, Latino, whatever. I want to win that award. But the Grammys historically hasn't been in touch with our culture, but uses hip hop to perform, to market, to promote, and we aren't getting.
I would argue that. I don't think they. I think they literally treat us like the redhead stepchild.
Right.
We lobby to be there. We lobby. Hey, remember us. Remember us. They'd be like.
So how bad would it have been if Post was in the rap category and then
Yeah.
wins over a Kendrick
Yeah.
or
It
Drake
wouldn't be
or
surprising.
Pusha T
It wouldn't
or
be a
Nipsey
surprise.
Hussle?
I
We'd be
think
pissed.
It'd
I
been
think the
another year in the
culture is
Grammys.
realistic, and I think we have always said, like, you know, the Grammys are kind of like, we'll see what it is. No one holds their breath for the Grammys, but I think at the end of the day, people know now, like. It's all politics. So we're like, cool, whoever wins, great for you in that moment. But for hip hop, we've had to deal with this kind of abusive relationship with the mainstream music industry. And now it's finally getting to the place where hip hop is the #1 genre. So you have to listen. So we kind of have to see how this goes.
I feel like we've
there's
been the #1. I feel like the streaming thing, and I'm not saying you're arguing
yeah,
against
but
that.
I meant like that
streaming
whole
But
thing
now
that
it's
made
like
it like the
undeniable,
#1,
yeah.
like it was the most listened to now. Like we're definitely the most. I feel you on that.
Like we got to set our expectations, like to be like, okay, this is the Grammys. I had a conversation last year. People were like, well, Jay-Z's gonna sweep the category. I was like,
No, he's
I was like, you understand that Bruno Mars in these categories? It's like, there's no way 444 is gonna beat 24 Karat as far as album of the year for the Grammys. And they were like, no. And I won $20 that day because Bruno Mars was that artist.
Cop your cool Jodeci
I caught
shirt.
me a Jodeci shirt,
I
baby.
hope you claim that on your taxes.
Hey, look, hey, it's going under gas.
I feel you. No, you're right. I want to go into the next category and just move on. Best new artist.
Yeah.
Nominees are Chloe and Haley, Luke Combs, Greta Van Fleet, Her, H period, E period,
period,
R
R.
period. Yeah, I got you. Dua Lipa, Margot Price, BB Rexha, and Georgia Smith.
They're gonna give it to her.
Well, thank you for revealing your answer. Jameer, who do you have?
So funny because I was saying her as in like a woman.
Yeah, that's
That
right.
could have been a
Her.
lot of people.
But I have a feeling you're giving it to her. Go ahead, Jim.
I'm gonna give it to her.
It feels unanimous. I feel you. I feel like her.
She just gets it.
The only
She's
other
of this generation. I love it.
the only other viable winner would have been who'd you say third? It was another woman.
Greta Van Fleet,
No,
Chloe and Halle, Dua
Chloe
Lipa.
and Halle. But I don't think they put out enough music.
Right.
Right.
To-
And they're dope. They're super talented. They produce
Oh my
their
God,
own
yeah.
stuff.
Her
They're
all
is
grown-ish.
just, like, because technically her is not a new artist.
Right.
Right.
She's not new. That's
She's
why
new
I
to the
didn't.
Grammys.
No, I feel you.
But no, I mean, but no,
I'm always saying something I'm not supposed to say.
No. You can say whatever you want. I'm joking. With
No,
you.
But I mean,
yeah,
even as of last year, she was putting out stuff. She's been
was
putting
she
out.
Grammy nominated?
I
last
think
year?
she was Grammy nominated last year.
Yeah,
She
she
too.
don't
wasn't
understand.
nominated for new artists.
Yeah, but I think she was nominated.
Yeah, what I'm saying, but if she's in the
Google that.
category,
I still don't understand. We got to look this up.
in this category here, she deserves it. Like,
Right.
what she's been doing with these EPs, her
She's
album.
incredible. And then she'll just go home afterwards. She don't even go outside. She just go home.
Yeah, she be outside,
Is
she
there
don't
anybody
know.
missing from this category? And I know the eligibility rules are like
Ella.
Ella would have been dope.
Ella
Ella May.
May.
Ella
But
would've been
I
dope.
feel like if there's one that, because Cardi wasn't nominated. She was nominated for Bodak last year, right?
But not Best New
But
Artist.
she wasn't nominated for Best New Artist. And I feel like at some point, Cardi should have a Best New Artist Grammy
Yeah.
on her mantle. Like
Snoop
I feel
should
like
have
that's
a Best
the
New
award.
Artist
Right.
Grammy.
They always mess this up. Is there anybody missing from the category?
When he turned into Snoop
I
Lion?
definitely think Ella.
Or gospel
It
singer.
would have been dope to see Ella in this lineup, only because of the massive year she had.
I don't understand how they put Georgia Smith in there and not. Well, yeah, okay, I see.
I mean, I
the
love
house music
Georgia.
vibe and she's another.
You know,
element.
I'm gonna throw a curveball. One artist that I think was missing actually, who I enjoyed this year, Billie Eilish. Are you guys up on Billie Eilish?
super annoying.
Really?
She annoys my soul.
First of all, she's like 16, so
Wow.
chill the fuck out.
I don't care. It's still, she's still here in the public, and
Right.
it annoys my soul.
I would like to know what the category, the rules are for this exact nomination, because they're, again, Cardi should have gotten one last year.
I do
It's all
have
about the
the
vote.
Grammys eligibility rules state eligible artists must have achieved a breakthrough into the public consciousness and impacted the musical
like Cardi.
landscape
So Cardi
during
should have
the
been
year's eligibility period. The artist must also have a minimum of 5 tracks on one album and a maximum of 3 albums.
Oh.
Maximum of 3 albums?
So you can
Yeah.
release 3 albums in a year, but if you did,
Has 3.
oh, you can't have more than 3 albums
In
and be
total?
in it. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
but
her
then
would
Cardi
make-
really, they
Cardi
really
definitely
Yeah,
should've
Cardi
been
should have been there.
It sounds like Cardi should have been.
Yeah.
At least last year, because
Snub.
Bodak Yellow, she literally came out of nowhere and everyone was singing that
But did
song.
she have an
to the top
album?
of-
I don't think she had an
didn't
album.
have an album
Yeah, it
yet.
wasn't eligible. The time.
Yeah, because
Well-
Bodak breathed for a long time before
And-
Invasion of Privacy.
Right,
Right,
and then Invasion
right.
of Privacy
So,
came out like
so it kind of
September.
sounds like Cardi should have been nominated.
Yeah, she got
for
snubbed.
Best Artist.
And she should have, like, that's
Best New
the,
Artist.
it's hard for me to
Georgia
put
Smith?
Cardi in the album
should've-
category.
She should
for
have
me.
got Best New Artist last year.
Right.
I'm okay with not nominating her this year because then that makes it unfair to the people
Right.
in this year. It's kind of like
They missed
when
the
the
vote.
rookie. It's kind of like when Blake Griffin won Rookie of the Year. You
Right.
were injured your
'Cause he
first
was
year. You
injured
shouldn't have
his
been
first
here.
year. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You messed it up. Now everybody's
You throw it off.
accolades is thrown off. So it's okay. Like she should have got it. She
She'll
didn't
get
get
more.
it. Let's talk about who's in
She
it
gonna
this year.
get Song of the Year. So one of those album of the year. She gonna get something.
She gonna get
She gonna get Baby Mother of the Year.
We
That's not a Grammy category.
should be.
Should be.
Should be.
Because she'd win.
you ready?
Yep.
Next category, man.
Oh, it's Baby,
Mouse
it's
knows
Baby
when
Mother
to
of the
get in
Year?
trouble. Huh? You ready?
I can't.
Finally, this is the one I'm not gonna lie. I've just been waiting for this category.
This is the one.
category wants to-
Okay.
R.O.T.Y.?
Rap album of the year.
Yeah.
Roadie.
Okay. Nominees are Invasion of Privacy, Cardi B, Swimming by Mac Miller, Victory Lap by Nipsey Hussle, Daytona by Pusha T, and Astroworld by Travis Scott. Let's start with Jameer.
Okay. I gave it to Pusha.
Yeah.
Reason I gave it to Pusha is because this was the first of the 7 series albums where
good one.
it was and it was really the only.
He was amazing. You know that old what movie was that, man? let me get mine first, then y'all can do what y'all want to do.
Yeah.
like that was
yeah.
Pusha.
It was on the Ghostface
Yeah.
album. Yeah, but Push Daytona was a standout. Definitely a standout. And while like I really feel like Daytona and Nipsey, like Victory Lap was fire. Don't get me wrong, but I resonated more with Push. It was to the point. It was nothing but fire. It was everything we could ask for. I do think it should, I wish it was a little longer, but it was perfect the way it was. And again, this was a kickoff to a downward spiral of albums.
So it was a kick down.
It was a kick up and then he fell down. So I don't know how you phrase
Push
that.
up.
Yeah, but Push definitely deserves it. Of course you're not going to get like the breakout singles and the big media mainstream attention. But as far as a rap album, this was damn near perfect, man.
I was happy with the nominations.
Yes.
For the most part in this.
Nah,
You could have argued a couple of them, but for the most part they got it right.
Yes.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm Nipsey Hussle
Wow.
Victory
Hustle in the
Lap.
house.
Agreed.
Yeah, first of all, I just love Nipsey so much. And just there's something about his laid back attitude. The way he presents is really awesome. But then on top of that, he's an incredible rapper, an incredible artist. And the way that he delivered this album, I just felt like the lyrical content was great. His voice, I just love the tone of his voice. Nipsey just did a great job.
He
It was
got
a
a
fire.
classic rap voice.
Like he
Yeah, he
just
does.
like the
Yes.
storytelling. It
Yeah, he
was just
does.
like there's just something about it that automatically just gets you right in your stomach. You're like, I just have to listen to this all the time.
I think that Blue Laces too,
Yeah.
that last verse is one of the best verses.
Oh
in the year.
man.
And so I think Nipsey deserves it. I mean, again, there's so many deserving people in this category. They did a good job. But if it's my pick, I'm choosing
I'm not
Nipsey.
mad at Nip, to be
Oh,
honest.
yeah.
It can go either way for me.
Mouse Jones.
Victory Lap.
Victory lap. Nipsey Hussle. Mouse Jones, congratulations. He made his first million this year. Listening to Victory Lap.
There you
Watch
go.
how everything
Come
changes.
on. All right.
Look,
That's a lot.
Hey.
A million what? Impressions? That's about it?
I mean, that's still fire.
That's still good.
Yeah.
no. But let's talk about it because I
should get
feel
an
like
Emmy for that.
Victory lap is
So Victory Lap. I will never forget where I was when I heard Blue Laces 2. It's that kind of record.
you was on LeBron's IG.
Incorrect. Because I don't follow LeBron.
A&R Bond.
do.
is
Nah, go
fire.
ahead.
But I was actually in LA because that dropped during All-Star Week.
Yeah.
So
Showing
I
up
was
did.
in
That was
LA.
so good.
And I remember when that dropped, I'm literally on the plane. I get off the plane, and you hear these records. You hear the YG and Nip record, and I'm like,
That's
oh,
time,
gang,
that's
LA
that.
really,
LA
LA
coming
really
back.
supports their artists, and that's all I heard All Star Weekend. That's all, and I was like, yeah, this hard. And then I go from public events, and then I'm listening to it in my ears, and I'm like, yo, this is hard. Like he has a voice made for
He does.
rap.
He does.
Like not like
He does.
and hot take, whatever you want to call it. Nipsey Hussle's everything J. Cole can't be.
Oh my God.
I don't
He
even
raps.
know why- I don't even know why we gotta bring J. Cole.
He rap. Get what I'm saying? He raps.
I never kick anybody.
Yeah.
Beat.
I didn't say he ain't down. J. Cole ain't down. He just invited 3,000 people to goddamn Atlanta. I wasn't there.
You hate him.
No. But okay, so Nipsey.
He's everything Cole isn't. He can rap directly to the listener. Like I feel like J. Cole
You don't think
wants
Cole
to.
does that?
He wants to, but if you listen to Cole and you're not a fan, something will turn you off.
I agree
But
with
when
that.
I hear everyone who I introduced to Nipsey, they're like, yo, his voice, like, and he's talking that talk to you. He's talking OG talk to you. He's talking young talk. Even
Business
YG said
savvy.
it on the record. He said,
Yeah.
Nip, thanks for everything. You like a brother. Like,
Yeah.
you feel what I'm saying? Like,
And he blood. And Nip is crib.
like you see what I'm saying? Like, there's just a lot of things going. You gotta stop doing that with your hands.
Was that
Nah, I
Hey
gotta
Ma?
crack my
Is it
knuckles.
Cameron?
Yeah, he was
yeah.
cracking
It
his
was like-
knuckles.
it was very-
Hey, Ma.
Yeah, it was
knuckles.
Cameron. That's what. Let's go with that. That's what it
Make me
was.
want to twist my fingers up.
But just everything about Victory Lap was so good to me.
Right.
It was
Amazing album.
amazing.
And Atlantic did a good job, I think.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
especially
Yeah.
to go from him being super, super independent and to work with a label and it pay off like this. I
Right.
think
Yeah.
he just showed a lot of people, if you're paying attention, the model.
Nip worked for it.
Do the
too.
work.
He worked for it.
Do the work.
He worked for it.
What if I had to pick, and this is such a tough category, I'm gonna go with Daytona.
Yeah.
But Daytona and Victory Lap are like
It's neck and
and
neck, man.
Like I
Like-
want to see rap win.
Yes.
Replay value is what is what separates Daytona and Victory.
But
Lap.
I play Daytona
play it too.
over
I
and
play
over
it.
again. I play
But the
Daytona
average
2-3 times in a row.
consumer who is not enamored with bars like we are
Right.
is not gonna listen because there's nothing catchy or there's nothing melodic. You're just you're
You
like,
gotta
oh my
be
god,
you
how
gotta
many gym
love
stars?
rap.
I'm
Yeah.
a rap fan. I want to see rap
Yeah.
win, and I think Push is an excellent representation for
Absolutely.
rap.
Yes.
and I think Nipsey is that too.
Absolutely.
It would be the battle of the braids.
Yeah.
They still hanging. They there.
They're not hanging no more.
One album.
They used to hang. They just dead.
I'm not gonna lie, and again, I'm going on record to see. You can look up tweets. Mac Miller's Swimming
It was really good.
was a really dope
was.
out. Like I don't have a favorite track because everything kind of flows. It was an album that it started my day every day. It was the album that I used to start my day. I haven't listened to it. I haven't been able to listen to it since he passed. There's a bittersweet moment. I would love to see Mac win a Grammy. I would love Mac to be here to win a Grammy. And there's the question of it, if he deserves to be recognized. And I don't know that many people would argue the other way versus would the Grammys have recognized him if he was still here?
And that's
Oh
my
my
point.
God.
Yeah.
This
Wow.
album does not make it into this category if he's still living today.
But whose fault is that? Is that the Grammys' fault or is that?
I think though out of the 5 nominations, his album and Astroworld are the only album that should not be in this category. I can name you 10 albums off the top of my head that deserve those 2 spots. There's nothing I have against this man. I am a casual listener to Mac Miller, but if he was alive today, that album wouldn't be nominated. And if he was a black man that died this year, that album wouldn't be nominated.
Yeah, I again, when you set your standards when it comes to the Grammys. The Grammys is, they're not gonna get it right. And so when you talk about rap album, there were a lot of albums that could have been in that spot. But you give the nod because of, again, the cultural impact. When Mac died, I mean, like, it hit a lot of people.
And let's get it. I think Mouse makes the point of, historically in the past and the Grammys, and not only the Grammys, just institutionalism. The music business as a whole, white artists in hip hop, have a privilege. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
White artists in general have a privilege.
Not
Tupac, I'm not familiar.
No.
Did Tupac win a Grammy the year he died?
No,
Did Biggie win a Grammy?
I don't think they
the year-
won Grammys at all. Snoop,
But
Nas.
What
Even nominated.
I will say about
Is there a
Mac
rap category?
is, and I think Mac recognized his privilege,
Sure.
and I think Mac never played that up. Mac just wanted to
He just
do
made. I
dope
will say, man,
hip hop.
he just made
Like,
music.
I just want to make good music with my friends, and that's what he did. And
And was that the last album, Swimming? Was that rap?
he rapped on it. It
was rap.
He
I
rapped,
felt like that was like a
he sung.
Tomish.
Nah, it was everything.
It was eclectic.
It wasn't
Okay.
bars. It wasn't straight
Yeah.
bars. But he had elevated from
Which I don't
from that
argue. I'm just
era.
saying, just
'Cause
if
he's
I'm
collaborating with
further
Thundercat,
nitpicking,
right.
Oh, I love.
Well, there's an
that.
asterisk on the website now, the Grammys website, that says rap category, and then right under it says it has to be at least 51% rap on.
He had
on
bars.
the
He
album.
had,
So
he was definitely spitting.
Yeah.
but yeah, like I said, I think, and that is no shot to him
No,
or his
no, no.
people.
You
Him,
make a good
him
point.
being nominated takes away from somebody who definitely deserved to be. They're using this as a PR stunt. This is a PR stunt saying we're recognizing hip hop.
Rest in peace to Mac Miller. But I also don't know why they didn't extend this category into 8.
Right.
Because I do think, regardless of what the Grammys would have done had Mac lived, I think he deserves a nomination. I think Astroworld deserves a nomination. I also think Royce the 5'9" deserves a nomination.
Yes.
Book of Ryan.
Book of Ryan.
So I would have liked to actually. I think they did a really good job with this category. You can obviously argue certain
Different
points,
thing.
but I would have liked to see this stretched out
Extended.
to 8, like the other ones, because I think there were a lot of deserving rap albums, and I think that's probably where the problem.
I wouldn't have.
lies.
I wouldn't have want to see. I definitely, as a hip hop and rap enthusiast, I definitely did not want to see this stretched out to 8. I just would have wanted to see more quality control.
I would want to know for the the Recording Academy, like what is the process of getting like things extended? Because my big thing is, since we do have this overload of music now, how many people have actually heard all these albums that voted? Like, are they saying, okay, so you guys love rap, so over here you guys let us know your 5, or is it everyone in the Academy gets to vote? Like, how does this work?
You know what?
I think we got to vote more.
And the information is out there.
Yeah.
Because I know they do
Right,
a lot
I wanna
for
look
the
for
information
it.
out there. I
Yeah.
think,
We
and
need
me
us
personally,
three,
I got to do
or
a
us
better
four
job.
right here need
a better job. of
need
doing
to
it.
sign up and make sure we're
I
in
don't
that.
just sign up.
So, I'm actually just getting a note. This just in. Everyone in the Academy votes for categories they feel qualified in. Thank you, Rahel.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So they leave it. So I guess it's almost like an honor system. Like if you feel like you're qualified to vote in the rap category, do it. Country category, do it.
Right.
Like I have no business in the country.
So I just want y'all to know, like, Susan Sarandon was, or Barb Streisand might have voted for album of the year. Barb Streisand might have voted for hip hop album of the year.
That's
Like,
okay.
this is what I'm saying.
That's what
we
I'm
need to
saying, too.
get in.
Babs is cultured.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying
Tiffany
is,
Haddish
Babs
said
is.
so.
yeah, if we're talking about Babs Bunny, yeah, Babs from Bad Boy, yeah.
That's crazy.
Babs for bad boy.
And the only hold on, this is in from Rahel, super producer Rahel. And they only extended categories that were not cross categories, not categories genre specific. So the genre-less categories got expanded,
But
and
the-
they felt
The
they
ones
had to
that
do
are
the
very
hard
specific,
work.
which is fit.
I think that's
Well,
fair.
I
That's
am
fair.
a fan of, hey, if the goal is 10 foot, we just got to learn how to dunk on 10 feet. Don't bring it down.
You ain't bring down to 9.5.
my
I brought
I
the bring
did.
down to 9.5.
Do you
That's my
do you
guy.
see who I am?
9.5.
Why you ask me?
Oh, that's true.
Wait, what you dunking on?
Not binary.
I'm dunking. You
Not
could
in no
have asked
shoes.
me. You could have asked me.
Not in the shoes.
You could have asked me. The WNBA is fire. Just
The WNBA
saying.
is fine. I want
Just saying. I could have been
It's
the.
fire.
I'm a Liberty fan.
You just make bad decisions all around sports wise.
What? Oh my
have a
God. Do we have to have
question.
this conversation?
The New York Liberty are trash.
Hold on. We
I
gotta
have
go.
a question.
thought you said
What
WNBA.
did J Rock make the eligibility for like his album when it came out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of the ones
That's
that
one
should
of the
have
ones I really
yeah,
wish
yeah,
replaced
was on there.
Astro World
Way to bring it
with
back.
J Rock's
Redemption.
album.
Because that was my favorite album.
I agree.
Last year, it was really good. So.
Yeah.
All right, man. So, but we got to tune in. We got to check it out. Or
Yeah, well.
just
Well,
tune
I
into
will
social
actually
media.
be following Jameer Pond for
Jameer
that.
Pond.
I'm not going to waste my time.
You're not gonna watch the performances?
No, I'll catch those on YouTube or on Twitter. Somebody will
Or
post
not
it.
at all.
Well, we're gonna
Or
wrap it
not at
now.
all.
We're definitely gonna look to see Grammys. We'll probably come back and
Talk
just,
about it.
Yeah, talk about it and
Sounds
be
good.
really pissed about
A lot of
Have
stuff.
your people call my people, and we'll make that happen.
He has people.
He has people.
Yeah,
It's so
that-
crazy.
Oh,
All right.
Oh my God.
Thank you for tuning in. For the record, let us know what you feel in the comments. See you next week. Peace.